motivation. So that is the topic which we are going to see, the theories of motivation. So the motivation, as we know, it has been originally a Latin word which says to move. So how we are moving? We are moving towards the accomplishment of the organizational goal. So all the activity what we do, that is we are trying to exert our willingness in order to achieve or accomplish the goal or the need of the organization. So it is like given that if you are having some physiological or psychological deficiency, or when you want to activate your behavior, or you are trying to move towards a goal, so the goal is an incentive. So when we are moving towards in order to accomplish the result, so the result is accomplishment of the goal. It can be the organizational goal. It is an enthusiasm or what a person has in order to achieve the goal, that is called as motivation. So this motivation, as we know, it is an internally within an individual. So it is within an individual, and that particular motive can have a different behavior, and the different motives, though we have different motives, but all that is focusing on only achieving a single behavior. And we have to be very clear that motives do not stand, so they come and they go. And this is how the term motivation has been evolved. So in the process, when you talk about motivation, we have a motive. The motive, as we know, we need a motive. So motive is nothing but it is a prompt action what we do. So we need a motive, and that motive is directing us towards a goal. Okay, so ஒரு motive இருக்கு, goal achieve பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறோம். ஸோ அதுக்கான பிஹேவியர்ன்றது என்னன்னா, ஒரு சீரியஸ் ஆஃப் ஆக்டிவிட்டி எப்படி அது செய்கிறோங்கிறது தான் பிஹேவியர். ஸோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் த மோட்டிவேஷன் ப்ராசஸ். Now we will talk about the theories we have. So as I told you, motivation, we have a goal, we have an opportunity, it is having some incentive, there is a challenge. So with these are the thrives what we have in achieving the motivation. The theories of motivation is in turn classified into two areas based on their hierarchy, that is content theory and process theory. So the content theory, we have different contributories. One is Abraham Maslow's need hierarchy theory, and second one is Heisenberg's motive hygiene theory, that is two-factor theory. Then we have McLuhan's need theory, and then we have Alfred's ERG theory, and also we have process theories by Adam is equity theory and Vroom's expectancy theory. Regarding goal setting theory and reinforcement theory, I have not prepared much on it. So as far as the importance is concerned, we have to have more importance on Vroom's theory and Adam equity theory. So focus has been done more on two theories. So we know this is Abraham Maslow, and he is also called as the father of the humanistic psychology, and he is the creator for the need hierarchy theory, or even we call that as Maslow's theory of need, or we call it as an hierarchy of needs theory. So the period of him is from 1908 to 1970, and he has classified the needs on 5 categories. So that is basic needs, physiological needs, and bonus needs. So we will see each needs, what are the things which has each needs. So this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So he has given us, so based on this study, he has studied about the human qualities and the life of the people in 1954. So he has created this based on his theory, and it has also been explained in his book Motivation and Personality. So the 5 classification is basically a person needs a physiological needs, And the physiological needs means in order to sustain the living, that is breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, then home status and his excretion. So this is the basic of an individual. So when this particular need is satisfied, he will go for another need, that is called as security. So security of his body, or it could be of his employment or his resources, his family, health, property. All these is classified under the safety needs. So after safety needs, he want to have some friendship, that is called as a social needs. So we has a friendship or family or sexual intimacy. So we call it as a love or belonging needs. Then this is esteem, self-esteem need, where he tries to develop confidence, he want to achieve, he want to be respected by other people. Then even also he try to respect others, that is called as self-esteem needs. And self-actualization is trying to have a spontaneity, or he is having the idea of accepting the facts, the reality of the living, morality or creativity. So all these are there in the self-actualization. So the self-actualization is nothing but it is making a person in order to motive and all to reach his or his full potential. So if you look at the hierarchy of this Maslow's theory, a person's basic need should always be met before. So that is why we call it as a basic need, that is the physiological and safety need. So basically his first two needs has to be satisfied, only then he will think about all the other needs. And this is about Heisenberg's two-factor theory, that is motivation theory. So he has got two factors. One is satisfaction towards a job, and another one is job dissatisfaction. So he has given his principle based on this two factor, that is one is job satisfaction and another one is job dissatisfaction. That is why we call it as a two-factor theory or hygiene theory or Heisenberg's theory. So they have different meaning. Sorry, same meaning. And the focus is the principle why this particular theory has been evolved is in order to improve the satisfying factors which is related to job satisfaction, and also in order to look into the hygiene factors which is trying to decrease the job dissatisfaction. So we are focusing on the satisfier factors and also hygiene factors. So the hygiene factors which has to be decreased in order to have a better job satisfaction is he should have a better working conditions, co-worker relations, policies, rules, supervisor and base wage salary. Regarding the factors which is trying to influence job satisfaction, see, somebody is trying to recognize you, super, very good. So you need an applause and you need an achievement and you want to have some personal growth. So that is trying to contribute to job satisfaction. ஒரு திருப்தி அந்த வேலையில். ஸோ எப்போ வரும் அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரெகக்னிஷன் கொடுக்குறாங்க, அல்லது ஒரு ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி கொடுக்குறாங்க, அல்லது சில விஷயங்கள் நீங்கள் அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க, பர்சனல் க்ரோத் இருக்குது, தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அ ஜாப் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன். So this is the factors what we have with the hygiene factors and motivator factors. So regarding motivator factors is satisfying factors. So we have the sense of personal achievement, as I told you, status recognition. We should have some challenging or stimulating work. You should be able to take up responsibility. There is a growth for promotion and advancement. Then hygiene factors is with respect to this is in order, this factor should will try to decrease the job dissatisfaction. So the working conditions, that is work-life balance, job security, interpersonal relationship, the policy of the company, then the salary and wages. So when in place, these factors will result in general satisfaction, and as I told you, it will try to prevent dissatisfaction. Same way, the factors, motivating factors will always lead to a high satisfaction. There is a strong commitment and high motivation among your workers. So this is the Heisenberg's two-factor. Now let us look into the comparison between Maslow's and Heisenberg theory. So we know in Maslow's theory we have 5 factors starting from the basic to the self-actualization. And in case of Furstenberg, we have two factors. One is motivating factors and another one is hygiene factors. So in Maslow's theory, we start from the physiological needs, that is in order to sustain the living, like eating, sleeping, breathing, in order to live alive. Regarding safety needs, he wants to have safety and security with respect to his employment or his property or his house or his family. And regarding this social needs, he wants to be loved and he wants somebody to love him. So he wants to be inside a group. In case of self-esteem, he wanted to be respected and he wants others to respect him. Same way he tries to respect others. Self-actualization is in order to do work what I like, we like. That is called a self-actualization. Regarding Herzenberg's, we know there are two factors. One is motivating factors and another one is hygiene maintenance factors. So in order to have factors with respect to motivational, we have to be having challenging work in order to utilize his own capability. So he will be able to take up responsibility. That should be an opportunity so that he does something meaningful. That should be a recognition. அவங்கள நம்ம ரொம்ப ரெக்கக்னைஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும், அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் கொடுக்கணும், அதே மாதிரி அவங்களுக்கு இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எல்லாம் கிடைக்கிற மாதிரி பார்த்துக்கணும், டெசிஷன் மேக்கிங்கில் அவங்களை இன்வால்வ் பண்ணணும். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் பண்ணும்போது கண்டிப்பாக அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஊந்துதலாக இருக்கும் மோட்டிவேஷனல் ஃபேக்டர்ஸ். Regarding hygiene factors, you should have a congenial people to work with, relationship, then working conditions. He want insurance and about his wages, salary, vacations, holiday package, pensions. All these are called. We have to have calling as hygiene. So this is the third theory is given by Douglas McGrath and we call that as X and Y theory. This X and Y theory, we have the same factors as given by Maslow's theory, but there are set of assumptions. So we have to look at the assumptions for theory X and theory Y. So theory X, we have a set of assumptions, that is how an individual is being motivated by the lower needs. So the lower needs is with respect to physiological and safety and security needs. Regarding the higher needs, it's called as theory. We have a set of some assumptions how they manage an individual motivated needs. So the assumptions given by Douglas McGrath is that the assumption in case of X is that is there is a dislike among the workers, that is employees, and they are very lazy, they don't want to take up responsibility, and somebody has to push them to perform, force them to perform the activity. That is called as theory X. In case of theory Y, the assumption is that employees, they like the work, they are very much creative, they are willing to take out responsibility, and they know the direction how they have to do it. Now this is the theory given by David McLuhan. So we call it as McLuhan's theory of motivation. So it is being contributed by his research work on human achievement and motivation. So he is a psychology professor from the Harvard Business School. So he is an expert in order to study about human motivation, and he has educated and has done lot of research work. So based on his research work only, they have given McLuhan's theory, and we will see what is this theory. And this is this picture. So this is for better understanding. I have given him. So there is three things which we have to look into McLuhan's motivational theory. So first one is the need for power, the need for affiliation, and need for achievement. I repeat, the need for power, the need for affiliation, and need for achievement. So these are the three factors which an individual needs, which an individual has to look into in case of the contribution made by. So that is, as I told you, need for achievement, need for affiliation, and need for power. So in order to achieve, there is a drive to succeed. In order to for getting affiliation, they have to have some interpersonal relationship, the desire. In case of power, we can have power only when we are trying to influence the behavior of others. We will have the power. So he has identified 3 motivating factors. So all these factors, 3 factors are present in each person, but we should know which factor is motivating much, whether it is achievement factor or affiliation factor or the power factor. So based on his dominant motivating factor, the people will have different characteristics. So based on his characteristics, we can easily find out which factor among these 3 is trying to dominate the individual. So first one is need for achievement is when it is high, he must be able to win at any cost, and he will be always at the top, and he will be ready to receive credit. Suppose there is a less need for achievement, there is no strive for achieving, then he will always fear for failure and he will not take up responsibility. In case of need for power, if the need for power is high, he will be having some control, that is of everything and everyone. So as I told you, he will be having an hierarchy higher, where he will be able to control others and he will control the actions of others. So what he will do is, he will try to exaggerate his own position and the resources. Suppose if this need for power is less, then he will always be dependent and he cannot take the leadership. So he will be a subordinate and he will always have a minimum utility of his resources and power. The need for affiliation, when it is high, he will be very much loyal. That is, he will be trying to be demanding loyalty without any prejudice. Then he will also try to have harmony, but he will not tolerate disagreement. Then in case of if he is having low for a need for affiliation, then he will always not be very aloof. That is, he will not mingle with other. தனியா இருப்பாங்க. எப்பயுமே ஒரு social distance, யாரோடய mingle ஆக மாட்டாங்க. Now this is the next theory given by Alfred's Erg theory. So Erg refers to existence, relatedness and growth. So Professor Clement P. Alfred proposed this hierarchy theory, which is having 3 sets of needs. So E for existence and R for relativeness and G for growth. So existence is, as we know, it is for basically we want to sustain, live in existence in life. வாழ்க்கையில வாழ்றதுக்கு என்ன தேவை? Food, air, water, pay, working conditions. So இது existence சொல்றாங்க. Next one is relatedness, is he wants to satisfy a society, social and interpersonal relationship. In case of growth is he should be having some creativity or productive contributions. So this is how he has given a theme, and he has developed it based on the 3 categories. So this hierarchy is same like Maslow, but he has classified the 3 sets of motivating factor based on this growth needs, related needs and existent needs. That's why we call it as ERG theory. So in existent needs, we have the safety, security needs and physiological needs. In case of related needs, we have the esteem needs and social needs. In case of growth needs, we have esteem needs and self-actualization. And based on this theory, we have this existence. So this existence with respect to the physical and material needs. So when there is a satisfaction, there is a progression. When is a frustration, then there is a regression. Regarding this relativeness, when there is a social interrelationship or relationship, then that will lead to growth. If he is having satisfaction, here also they will have progression. If there is no satisfaction, that is called as frustration, there will be regression. So growth will always lead to self-esteem and self-actualization. So next the theory which we will see is by Victor Room's theory. So we call it as expectancy theory of motivation. Here the 3 factors what we have is effort, performance and reward. So there is a relationship between effort, performance and reward as given by Victor Room. And this theory is called as expectancy model of motivation. As I told you, effort, performance and reward. So effort is, if I work hard, will I get the job done? So this is the perceived effort which is having performance probability. Regarding performance, it is related to reward. So what reward will I get when the job is well done? That is related to perceived performance. That is, there is a possibility of doing good. So when you do the job well, then you will get the probabilities, there is more chance of getting reward. Then regarding reward, that is based on what rewards do I value. So that is based on the perceived value of reward, what he will get when he is trying to achieve. So these three factors has been further classified for our extra understanding. Based on that, motivation is equal to valency plus expectancy plus instrumentation. That is how it is, we are going to measure it. So regarding valency, we will talk about the value, that is a person is trying to attach to the reward. See, somebody is having a more passion for getting more reward, then we have to have that valency measure. So what happens is, when it is extrinsic, then there is a money, promotion or time off. If it is in case of intrinsic, then you want to have a sense of achievement. Regarding expectancy theory, we have to talk about the confidence a person is able to achieve his results. So what is the goal you have set, the results we are able to achieve, that is the results expected. So this is purely based on individual's belief. So you believe in yourself, you can do enala mudiyum, na expect pandrathu mudikka mudiyum அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு belief, that is called as expectancy. Regarding this instrumentality, we try to measure what the individual believes, that is the organization, and will the reward what has been given, that is promised, whether it is we will be able to get. So the three variables we have in expectancy theory is expectancy, that is performance, outcome. Same way in valency we have the outcome and reward. So the valency we have what is called as value into reward. So expectancy we should have more of performance, that is outcome. Then instrumentally we what is that is there should be we have to have the outcome to be high with respect to performance. So the key components what we have is effort in order to perform, then instrumentality, that is then valency. So a person who is having some subjective estimate, that is probability, whether when he is trying to increase his effort, நிறைய நான் எஃபர்ட் போட்டேன்னா நான் என்ன நினைக்கிறோம் அந்த பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பண்ண முடியுமா, அப்போ அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்னா அவனுடைய செல்ஃப் எஃபிஷியன்சியை வந்து அவனுடைய மோட்டிவேஷனுக்கும் அதுக்கும் ரிலேட் பண்ணுறான், அந்த எஃபர்ட்டுக்கும் ரிலேட் பண்ணுறாங்க. Self efficiency will affect motivation in order to put the effort. He has to believe in his performance. Adanga. Then regarding the second cases, when the individual is trying to estimate, see, நான் வந்து நிறைய வந்து இன்னும் ஒர்க் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பண்ணுறேன், நிறைய பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னா, நல்லா பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னா ரிசல்ட் என்னவா இருக்கும், கண்டிப்பாக நான் என்ன ரிசல்ட் நினைக்கிறேனோ அது வரும், தட் இஸ் டிசையர்ட் அவுட்கம். நெக்ஸ்ட் வேலன்சி அப்படிங்கிறது என்னன்னா, ஒரு பர்சன் வந்து ஒரு பிளேஸில் பர்டிகுலராக என்ன வரும் அவுட்கம் பார்க்குறாங்க. ஸோ அந்த அவுட்கம் நமக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ அது பாசிட்டிவாக இருந்தால் பாசிட்டிவ் வேலன்சி வரும், லெஸ்ஸாக இருந்ததுன்னா நெகட்டிவ் வேலன்சி வரும். ஸோ அதுதான் அவனுக்கான அந்த ரெகக்னிஷன் வேல்யூ. So next we will talk about the Stancy Adams equity theory. So he has studied this theory based on this model, that is equity theory. So equity theory works with input is equal to output. So ரெண்டுக்குமே வந்து equality பண்றாங்க, input-ம் output-ம். So input வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா time, education, ability, effort, loyalty we are taking. Outcome பாத்தீங்கன்னா we talk about salary, his benefits, perquisites, job security, job title, then work-life balance, responsibility, recognition. So people always try to create equity. So this theory has been given by Stancy Adams. The output, that is what input we are putting, that will give the output. So that the receiving output will be only based on the perceived inputs and outcomes. So the process is trying to focus on workers' perception, how fairness of their work out will be there in case of inputs and outputs. So the thing what they are focusing is in order to maintain ratio of their own reward to contributions which are equal to others. See, I put more work, I am getting more result, then my reward will be high. That is, you are trying to பட் ஈக்குவல், அதாவது நான் நிறைய பண்ணுறேன் நல்லா பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னா அந்த ரிவார்டு எனக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கிறத வந்து மற்றவங்களுடைய கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் வச்சு நாங்கள் சரி பண்ணிக்கிறோம் வித் ரிவார்ட்ஸ். So this Adams equity theory, as I told you, has been developed by John Stancy Adams. So this is with respect to workplace and behavioral psychologist. He developed this motivation theory in 1963. This theory tries to acknowledge that there is a subtle there are variable factors which is trying to affect an employee's assessment and the relationship with their work and their employee. The theory is built on the belief that when their employees, when they are becoming demotivated, then what they have is they try to relate their job and their employee. See, if the input is greater, then the output will also be greater. So employees, what they do is they are trying to expect and they are getting the result. So when you are demotivated, you will have disparity, that is output க்கு input க்கு மேட்ச் ஆகாது. ஸோ எஃபர்ட் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் டிமோட்டிவேட் ஆகிட்டாங்கன்னா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, ஒழுங்காக வேலை பார்க்க மாட்டோம், அப்போ வந்து ஒரு டிஸ்ட்ரப்டிவ் ஒரு மாதிரி எஃபர்ட் வந்து ப்ராப்பராக இருவாங்க. ஸோ தென் when you talk about reward, we have inequitable reward, equitable reward and more than equitable reward. ஸோ இது ஈக்விட்டி தியரியே வந்து நான் என்ன ஒர்க் பண்ணுறேன் அதுக்கான அவுட்புட் என்ன, மற்றவங்க என்ன ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்க அதுக்கான அவுட்புட் கான்ட்ரிபியூஷனை மெஷர் பண்ணுறது. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு ரிவார்டு ஈக்குவலாக இல்லை அப்படின்னு நினச்சிங்கன்னா என்ன பண்ணுவீங்கன்னா நமக்கு ஒரு டிஸாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் வந்துடும், தென் ஆங்கர், டென்ஷன், தென் we don't like to work over there, so we will exit from the organization. Same way, when we have an equitable reward, then we will try to continue at same level of output. Then more than equitable reward, we will try to. So this scales we have, they put. So what I put into my job, as I told you, time, effort. So what I get in return is the recognition, bonus, development, reputation, price. So we are trying to match this input with it. So this is the last slide which gives us an idea about the Maslow's need hierarchy theory, the summary of it. Then Erg theory, Heisenberg's two-factor theory. Then equity theory, which we have already seen. So this is a summary of it for your understanding.